Hi everyone, it's Erin here from Erin Elizabeth Designs, back with another floss tube. If you're returning to my channel, thank you for stopping in again today. And if you are new here, welcome. This is my little corner of the internet that I like to sit down and kind of go over designs, whether it's new designs I'm releasing, things that are coming up, old designs, just a place to kind of like talk all things to do with Erin Elizabeth Designs. And then anything extra, whether it's extra cross-stitch projects I'm working on, things that are going on in the community, any kind of like cross-stitch haul finds, those fun things, some quilting sometimes, and other crafts from occasion. So, if you watched my last video, I want to say thank you to everybody who did tune in. That was a long one, I know. It was a little bit of time between the one before and that one, and then it was a big release kind of rundown. So there was a lot to share in that last video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it, and thank you for, like I say, tuning into that one and being here as well. I have a bit to share today. I have a new release. I have some a stitch I've been working on, some quilty stuff, and a little tiny bit of haul, but not really a lot today. So let's get started. Life updates, like I said, this is pretty quick between videos, so we'll see if we can keep going down this path. What have I been up to besides working and designing? Yes, back to school. We're in that routine, and we've had some stormy weather, so I love the moody weather of fall. So the cooler air, it's been cooling down a little bit. We still have been getting hit with some pretty hot weather, but we definitely had like a full stormy day from like the night before all morning into the afternoon day kind of thing. So that was a little bit of fun. My oldest son is really loving like the storms and lightning and stuff like that. So it was a nice welcome storm. So and I went and got a haircut. Yes, I got rid of all that extra. We're gonna try and do grow a little bit more length to the front of it, but really happy with the cut so far, so yay. I'm gonna get, I think, a few little highlights in it maybe, but we'll see. And what else? I went to that antique fair, so that was a lot of fun. I took my mom there. I saw lots of great things, and I always love to, like, you know, look and explore. And I think I'm in that kind of like feeling like with all the garage sailing and thrifting over the summer and stuff, I'm kind of maybe hitting like feeling like I've got enough, you know, in the house and in my studio space, that I wasn't feeling that like impulse buy kind of, or like need to get. So I got a few things, and a few things that I just liked to admire and be like, oh, that's cool, or yeah, that would be fun to have. My last little, I kind of go through like phases of things that I'm buying or start collecting, I guess. So it seemed like the last little while it was all about the mixing bowls and, like, you know, the Pyrex dishes and stuff. So I got a few of those things previous, and I kind of have like it out on a shelf now, like all my nice bowls that I've kind of collected over time, and I get to see them. And so I think I wasn't as like, I need to have more bowls. I think I'm like, I'm good at capacity for bowls now. But I've been kind of drawn to like jugs, like the pitchers and stuff. So I did buy 2 of those, and I put some flowers in them and stuff. My husband bought me a bouquet of flowers, and I put them in there, and I was, oh, they're so perfect. I love them. So that was like the good finds. They're really cute. So love that. And then I got a kid's ironing board. I'll just show you guys now because like I said, I don't really have a haul section. So I found this little like toy vintage ironing board, and I've seen these in like sewing rooms and stuff where people will hang them on the wall and use them either like as a magnetic board or a pegboard. So I thought that would be really fun to do. And it's pink, and it's cute pink and black, and it's in great shape, and it was a great price. So I thought that was really fun. Picked that up, and yeah, I saw a lot of like the little toy sewing machines, the kids sewing machines. So those were cool to look at. I did not purchase any because they were all quite pricey, and as like they're very cool, and I would love to get one. It just wasn't, you know, in the budget for my shopping that day. So, yes, that's about all, I guess. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So I got into doing sourdough, and it has been quite the journey. So when I went to Midsummer Stitch in the summer, back in July, I think, right? And Stephanie, the New England stitcher, was talking all about sourdough. And I've always been interested, you know, there was the big craze of 2020 with sourdough. Everybody and anybody was doing it. But so I've always been like interested in it, and I love baking bread. My dad always used to bake bread. So I love to bake bread. It's something I'm trying to do with my sons so that it's kind of, I remember doing it with my dad and my grandma, and it kind of, you know, I want to carry those kinds of things on. So it's something I've done is like bread. I've never done the sourdough, and she was talking about it with Chris, the camping stitcher, and I think there was a bunch of people in the room, and I just sort of listened and was like, oh, that would be really cool to do. I'd love to do it one day, thinking like, I don't have time to take care of this sourdough starter, right? It's, as my husband says, it's like a whole nother human almost. So I listened and was like, wow, yeah, that would be something I would, you know, one day like to try. So she had suggested someone to go watch on YouTube, Farmhouse on Boone. Yes, I was just trying to think, is it on Boone? Yes, I believe so. I'll link it in the description box, but Farmhouse on Boone, and she goes over all like sourdough everything. So, and she said she's great for like a low maintenance sourdough, and to kind of take like the fear out of like, because I'll tell you guys, I went down the rabbit hole of it. I did. I watched, so after that conversation, I took my note and I went, you know, next week when I went back to work and I got to put something on, I went and found her YouTube and started watching, and I watched like all week long. Just kept watching all different videos, and then, you know, you go down the rabbit hole of it and other suggestions, and so then all my feed is about sourdough. So I started watching all these other ones and about how like precise it has to be, and you have to measure this and weigh this. This other lady, her approach is just simple and kind of like back to the basics. So between her and one other channel, I kind of took the information and started my own starter. The first attempt was a little like I just had whatever was in my cupboard for flour. And it was a little like slow to get going and wasn't really like that strong of a start. By day 5, I was not really where it should be, in my opinion, from what I've had learned. So I did end up getting some like better rich, like, you know, the more nutritious flours, and started another batch, and it just took off and did really well. I made a couple loaves, made a bunch of loaves, and then made some pancakes and waffles and all the good things. And then I kind of got to that point where it's like, okay, I don't want to have to keep feeding it every day. So I put it in the fridge for what I was going to say a couple days. It turned out to be like, you know, like a 2-week stint of time. And then I was like, I better take her out and get her going again. So I did, and I have been, I just feel like I've been using it all the time now. So I have been going down the rabbit hole of that and like making everything. So I just did a bunch of like pumpkin muffins and banana muffins, pumpkin bread, a lemon loaf, sourdough breads, pancakes, waffles, like you name it. I've just been going down the sourdough. So that's been really fun, and the family's loving it, and it has been a lot more like easy, relaxing, and chill than I expected it to be. So if it's something you've ever thought about doing, I highly recommend go checking out her channel, and there'll be other ones that it suggests and stuff too, and just kind of like watch a bunch of videos and absorb the information you think you need. And it's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. So it's actually way easier than doing like you're kneading dough and rise and like that's a full day process. And this is just like, to me, it's just so easy. You do quick little things here and there, and then like, I don't know, go and look and explore if it's something that's interested you. You won't regret it, and neither will your family. Your family will be super happy with all the baking and goodies that it provides. So that's been really fun. So thank you, Stephanie, the New England Stitcher. So excited. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. So last time I was here, I showed you guys a little sneak peek of a chart I was working on. So I have actually finished stitching that. Now, the one I gave you guys a sneak peek of was stitched on Picture This Plus Jade, and it was an 18 count Aida. I was liking it, but I knew it because I did one strand of DMC thread, and I just knew by looking at it that it wasn't going to be like enough contrast with the stitching in the fabric for taking photos and stuff to like really show the chart. So I did end up switching up the fabric, and I started restitching it. So this is my newest release, and it is Woodland Critters Tier. So this one is stitched on Mystic Blue, and this is a 14 count Aida. It is finished. I just popped it into this 5x7 frame. I found this one at, what is it? Walmart. So they had it in 2 different sizes. I think a smaller size, I think a 4x7, or was it a 8x10? They had 2 anyways. And it has this little like cutout in the top here, which I thought was perfect to just pop a little magnet in there. And then I just put a little magnet on here. So if I wanted to change that out, or, you know, like, and put a different stitch in, I could. I just used the backer board, and I was thinking more to put like a stitch on the top as opposed to in, but these just fit so perfect in a 5x7. So there it is. I love how this one came together. So the idea for this chart actually started from my stitchy group of friends. So I have a group of friends that I met at the Jingle Ball, and since then we've been doing Zoom stitch nights every other week, and we have a text chain that we all just like, you know, enable each other is the most of it. But where we chat and stuff. And I was out shopping the other day, and I was sending pictures of squirrels. There's squirrels everywhere at Michael's, it seems, for their fall collection of decor. And a lot of the ladies love squirrels. So every time I see a squirrel something or other now, I can't help but think of the Stitchy groups. And when I sent it, they were like, what are you doing? Are you getting inspiration for a stitch? And it sort of all escalated from there. It was like, oh, you should do a Stitchy tier with a squirrel, and oh, this animal and that animal, all the different woodland animals. And what do you know? Here it is. So I created this one for you ladies, and I hope you love it. I know you guys say that you already do, so thank you. I'm glad that you guys love it. I'm so happy with how this one came out. My son, when I was stitching it up, he was like, oh, what? Like, just so excited. And he was like, that's your best one yet. Like, just so excited. So that is Woodland Critters tier. And like I said, it was stitched on Mystic Blue 14 count Aida. So happy with how that one came out. That one is available as PDF on my website now, and available for shops to order as well. So, and then, like I said, I started stitching that one on the jade, the 18 count with 1 strand. This is 14, that one's 14 count with 2 strands. So the 1 strand was, it looks good. It just isn't as pungent with the colors. So that's why, you know, when you're, sometimes that's why I mean, I say it all the time, do stitch test if you're ever kind of like humming and hawing, to see how the stitches are going to look of your thread, because you can throw your whole skein of thread on your fabric and it looks great, looks like it's going to show, but when you do the stitches with the threads, it's different. 1 thread, 2 threads, is it like, what size of count are we talking about? Is it going to be like a fuller stitch, a tighter, like, it's different. So if there's ever like, you're best to just do, especially if it's a bigger piece, you don't want to get started on something and then, so if there's a color or 2 colors that you're like, I wonder how that's going to show, I suggest that. I didn't, I just was like, this is going to look great on this fabric. I have been wanting to do something on this jade fabric forever. And every time I go to do something, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, right? So I was excited about this one. And if it would have been like a 16 count, because I just, for me, stitching, sometimes I know people do 2 strands on 18. But for me, it wasn't quite what I wanted. It would have been a little too bulky for my preferred stitching. So if it was a 16 count or even a 14 count, it would have looked great. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't look great on the jade. It does. It's just, I knew that the white and the lighter colors were going to be harder to photograph and really be able to show the detail of the chart the way I wanted it to look for the cover. So those are just things I knew, like the lighting is always so hard to get right for photos, and I didn't want to kind of lose the detail of the design. So I already had like the first 2 tiers kind of mostly stitched by the time I went and found the new fabric. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna finish that, the 3 tiers, and then maybe I can make it into, I was just thinking like another option to show. But then I'm gonna use that for my small stitch for Stitch New England. Well, I told my son what I was planning on doing for the finish, and he was like, oh, that is gonna be so cool. So oh great, now I'm never gonna be able to give it away. I finished it and he's like, no, you cannot give it away. So I still have to do something for Stitch New England. After the fact, I was like, I don't even know how well it would travel. Like, it would probably be fine, like if I packed it proper, right? But we'll see what happens. But this is how I chose to finish this one. I thought, well, how perfect would it be to put it in a tree form? So on the bottom tier, I stitched the row of green, the top of the tier, and then the one row of the white, and left off the scallop and the pedestal bottom with all the extra detail there. You could stitch the whole thing and still do it in a tree form, but I just thought, like, especially for the woodlands creatures, how perfect is that? So I just put it into a triangle shape, sewed the sides, stuffed it, put a dowel in there. I used this little like wood spool for the trunk, and then I had these wooden acorns I stained, and this base. These are all just things I got at the dollar store. So I just stained them, glued it together, found some little greenery to add there, and then, you guys, how cute are these? I don't even know what so I was trying to think, like, what more can I add to it to, like, give it a little extra something? And I had thought about doing, like, a little felt acorn or little felt mushrooms. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do, like, a three-dimensional one, right? So I started thinking about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, I could do button mushrooms. So I've made the little, like, trees out of buttons before. Like, you make the little tree ornaments where you stack up all the green buttons, and those are really fun. But I don't know why I even thought, I had white and red buttons right, beside each other, and it just sort of, okay, let's do some mushrooms. And they turned out so cute. They even have a little, like, weeble wobble to them, so I used a wire in there to so I could shape them a little bit more if I wanted them to be. But so cute and perfect. Just stacked up the white and then the red there. And I love, love, love how it came together. So super easy to do. The hardest part for this was just, for me, stitching up the bottom to make it look neat and tidy. I did film a start to finish with this. My camera battery died, like, right at when I was putting these on, I think, or at one point, maybe when I made them. I think when I made them, might be something else I missed in there, but I went back and I remade another one. I can't remember where I put it. My son probably walked away with it, to show you guys how to do that. So super easy, fun, and you could do this, you could do a tree finish with any of the tiers because they've got that, like, natural, but this one, of course, because it's woodland, it's got the tree up at the top, and like, it's so perfect. I just did a green fabric on the back there, and yeah, isn't that the cutest? I'm so happy with how that came together. But so you can see what I was saying with the fabric, like, it looks good. And here, like, from what I can see on the little screen, it pops enough. It's just like the littlest details. Like, and I just knew it wasn't gonna, like, photograph the greatest with it being a smaller stitch and everything too. And I didn't want to struggle with that. It pops way more into, the difference is like, well, it's like night and day. But yes, this is 18 count jade from Picture This Plus, one strand over one, and then this is the 14 count Mystic Blue. But that was a really fun stitch, like, finish to do. And now I guess my son has a new little treasure, as he would call it. But seeing his face when he saw this and how excited he was about it, I really don't think I could give it away now. So we will see what I come up with for Stitch New England Smalls Exchange. I do want to take part in that, so we will see. And then I just wanted to show, so that's all I have for you guys for like new stitches and stuff. I wanted to show you guys when I was putting this stuff away from my last floss tube, I went and put this one on here just for fun. So that's the American House, which is which I had finished on the yellow house up here. But I thought, how cute would that be? So both the finishing pieces are from Paisleys and Polka Dots, if you didn't see the last video. And then you could do the, these little pillows you could put in another like little dough bowl or something off to the side. But isn't that cute? It works perfect for this. So super cute. If you really love the sheep, this would be a perfect finishing piece for it. Like I said, I just did a magnet on there, so you can do that. Switch things in and out. So that was really fun. I was pretty excited when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect for that. So wanted to share that with you guys. So on my last video, I had shared with you guys about the hoops that I found at the thrift store, and someone had asked about what is the significance of the queen hoop, like what is it? And I never really did explain much about it. I just kind of assumed everyone. I did that thing where I said I would try not to assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. Just because I'm watching other floss tubes or I see or hear or know things doesn't mean you guys have seen or heard the same things. So I am sorry I wasn't a little bit more informative of that. I think I'm, like I'm still just in shock that I even found one and was like the excitement of it, all that. I haven't even started collecting like antique hoops or anything like that. And I found I had like a queen hoop in a bag with other hoops for $2.99 at the thrift store. So in saying that, they were curious, like, what is the significance of a queen hoop? I know nothing about them. And what would the value of something like that be? So I thought I would just touch base a little bit on it. There are some really great videos out there for that talk all about hoops, vintage hoops, antique hoops. Two that I would recommend for sure is Antique Needleworker Shelly. She has a whole floss tube, I think it's, yes, floss tube 19, where she talks all about vintage hoops. She actually goes through all different kinds of hoops and stitching, so she starts from like oldest to modern day. So that was a very informative video that I've seen. And then Cross Stitch the Globe, Stephanie and Allison, they're sisters, and their floss tube is wonderful. They've got a wide range of stitching that they do. And Stephanie does designs as well. She does her photographs from traveling. She does them into cross-stitch designs, which is really cool too. So they are wonderful, and they have they do educational, like tutorial videos as well. So they've got regular floss tube and then just like anything and everything cross-stitch. They are always doing like new topics, asking for if you have anything you want them to answer or video that you'd like them to do. So they have a wide range of everything you could think of for like educational, like how to use a Q-snap, and they go through vintage hoops, and amazing. So if you need any kind of like that stuff, go over and check out their channel. Like I said, they have one for antique hoops and stuff that she walks through with all of her collection of hoops and stuff too. So the way it sort of I'm going to give you kind of the short of it, just to kind of cover the questions that were asked about my particular hoop and stuff. And my understanding. So this is just like, if I say something that's incorrect, you guys feel free to correct me in the comments or whatever. This is my kind of like nutshell understanding. So the embroidery hoops, there's the 3 different like of the vintage embroidery hoops that you can find. There is a Duchess hoop, which has like, this is the queen hoop that I found. So a Duchess hoop would have no mechanism. It's just your outer hoop and your inside hoop, and it just pops in and out. And that's it. There's no mechanical mechanism on it at all. And that's like sort of the starting tier of the old hoops, the old vintage hoops. And then there goes, so it goes Duchess and then Princess, and Princess would have a mechanical piece on here, except for it's just like this metal that kind of like loops up like this, and you just push on it and it pops open. It's called a bow spring. It's got like the same kind of separation in the hoop here. This side to this side would have like a bow piece of metal, and you just push on that and it would like make this adjust apart so that you could get the inside out. So that's the Princess hoop. And then the next stage is the queen hoop. And that's the one with the dial like this. So it's wooden inside, outside, and then it's got a dial on it, the split in the wood there to allow, you know, to tighten and loosen it. And then it's got the felt inside. So these are like the heirloom hoops. You know, I believe they started making them in the early 1900s. And then I think it was like stopped in the 1920s sometime. And then, so they haven't been made since like the 1920s, I believe. So they are collector items and kind of like that heirloom. You can just tell, like, as soon as you see, even just seeing the wood of it, it is like, you know, different quality than the ones today. The ones today are still great and they do the same job. This, to me, you can just sort of feel that the quality is better. And it's just one of those things that has become valuable because they're harder to find as well. So, and the queens are the hardest to find. I believe. I mean, I found mine, but that's like pure luck, like a story you never expect to ever have happen to you kind of thing. So, so that's the antique hoops. They started them in the early 1900s. They started with the Duchess with no mechanism at all. It just the two sides, like the hoop that goes in and out, fits in and out. And then they went to Princess with the bow spring that you just push on to release. And then they went with the Queen. And now the Queen allows you to have like the most adjustable tension. So that's probably part of why it's like, you know, like it's the next level and it's more sought after, I guess. But definitely like great quality heirloom kind of pieces, like to be treasured. And then we have the metal ones. Now these would have been like probably mid 1900s, and these ones in particular that I have the spring. They do make queens in the metal. They're not as valuable, but still a really great hoop and still a collector piece. I've only ever found the metal ones with the springs, but they do have lots of different ones with different types of like the tension on them. So these are just the spring loaded. They pop out. They have a cork inside, and then this is a spring tension. So it just, again, allows you to be able to adjust that for your fabric and everything. The spring top can be found in a wood antique as well. And the value of those isn't like it. I think it falls in that same princess kind of category. Maybe, I think actually, now if I remember correctly, I think it might actually be the lesser valuable of the antique hoops. As far as value and stuff on these things, like, I don't really know. I've never, like, I'm new to the whole antique hoops and all that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly, and I guess that's all kind of like relative, you know, to areas and things. And for value on the queen hoop, you can look on eBay. I mean, to me, there's no value. Like this is a crazy find that I have no needlework to get passed down in my family. So this is cool that I found one and can now have it. I love the story of finding it in a random scrap bag. Someone didn't know what it was and just popped it in there. And $2.99. If I did look on eBay. I am not an expert eBay seller, antique, nothing. I hate to even say a value, but for someone who is asking, like, I didn't see any that were priced under $300, and some that had sold for, you know, that plus in the history of sales. That's Canadian, and like I say, I really don't know what the true value of something like this would be per se, but it is a lot more than $2.99. And like I say, it's kind of one of those pieces of history that's just really cool to have. So I'm really thrilled that I got to add that to my personal collection, and I am going to make an effort to stitch with this hoop as much as I can, because I think it deserves that. So it's a really, one of those really cool stories too, where I found it in a thrift store, and yeah, people would pay big money to have one. So this one is the one has the stamp of it there, the queen. So the queen, it makes sense. The Duchess, the Princess, the Queen. I think that's just in general, just the names of it is really fun. So that was a wonderful find. That's a 7-inch one. So it's actually kind of about the size I would normally like. I sometimes like a smaller, but that's a good size. And it's so nice and lightweight too. I got a few more little charms from Michaels. These ones just say love. And then they have a little heart on the back. So I like to add those to my pillows, as you guys know. And then I found these cute little keys. So I thought those would be fun. So I picked those up. They were on like a buy one, get one or something kind of deal. Lastly, I have my project, my ongoing cross stitch project that I've been working on, and I thought I'd share with you guys where I'm at. So this is my Simple Gifts Courage from Praiseworthy Stitches. So this is the one that Pam from Just Keep Stitching did for her survival sale last year. And she has since completed hers, as have some of my other friends. And I'm still working on mine. But I've been trying to, I know last time I showed you guys this, I was telling you, I'm trying to stitch it on it more frequently. And I have been. I did some really good stitching on it. But I also still have a lot to go. So I have made some good progress. I can't really remember what was on it last time you guys saw. But I think most of this is new. I want to say most of that is new at the bottom. So, you know, I think it's a 3-page chart, three across is what I think it's actually 9 pages because there's a little, but it's 3 across. So I think this is like kind of like up to here was like page 1, and then this is like the second. So this is kind of like the middle section, and then it'll go over. But I'm really happy with how it's coming together, and those floss colors are wonderful. So is the fabric. So this is a 32 count linen Fabrics by Steph, and it's chocolate milk. And I just love this fabric. I think it's so wonderful, and it feels good. You know, sometimes fabrics just feel really, really good and nice, and this is one of those ones. So that's what I've got. I think that's about, you know, from somewhere in here down is what I showed you, like all new since I showed you guys last. So I have been loving stitching on that. This is one that I'm doing in memory of my dad who passed away from cancer. And the colors that I'm using are, I never remember. So for the light color, it's the Khaki Mocha from Classic Colorworks. And this is Gentle Arts Weathered Barn. So those are the two. Beautiful, right? So that is coming along. I try to get as many on it. I had said that I wanted to get it done for this November because it'll be 10 years since his passing. And I wanted to get it done for that 10-year anniversary. I don't know that it's going to happen. And I kind of, when I was working on it last, I kind of like looked at it and realistically said, yeah, you know, I don't know if that's going to happen. And I kind of said, yeah, I'm okay with that because I really enjoy stitching on it. And I think it's going to be one of those ones that just kind of hits, you know, hard and you miss stitching on when you don't have it. So I've decided I'm just going to enjoy it, take my time, and just kind of work on it when I need to or want to. I really like doing that, is like on special days, or I like having like any day that I get to have like a nice relaxing coffee. That's really special for me to sit down and do, because he did love having his coffee with my mom, sitting and spending time, just the quiet time and enjoying coffee together. So I am just gonna take my time, bring it with me on our trip to Boston, and you know, see where I go with it. I love that stitch though. It's really fun to just have a project like that on the go, in the background of everything else. So you think I would be with all the stitching I do for myself and my models, I would not want to stitch when I have downtime, but I do, so that's really good. Okay, last time I talked to you guys, I said I had this quilt I wanted to share with you. So I'm just gonna pop it out of the bag here because of the glare. So this is the Pattern Basket Feathers. This is the bird quilt I was telling you guys about. So I am hoping, I have not, like I said, I have not tried a square yet, but it is one layer cake and then a fat quarter for the beaks, the background, the borders, binding and backing. So I had bought this pattern a while ago because I love birds, needed it. And then I went from my Perfect 10 lap quilt to this is my next quilt kind of thing that I hopefully I found this layer cake, and this is Fields of Flowers. It's a Moda fabric, and I fell in love with these colors. So I am going to, well, now that I flip this, I wonder if you need all of the layer cake pieces. We'll figure it out. I'm sure I can go find something else or another, anyway. I'm just looking at this and going, well, that's not going to work with my, these two aren't, like, oh, three, these lighter colors are not going to work with my background fabric. But like I said, I can go pick up some more fabric if I need to. I don't know how to share with you guys the beauty of all these fabrics, because I'm gonna have all the little things all over me from here on out, so sorry about that. Like you guys care. I just wanted to share some of them because they're so pretty. So I got all these, oh, look at that, blues and with the mustard yellows and then the teals and stuff. Okay. I'm making a mess of my fabric, and I should probably just put a clip up here of a picture or something, but they're so beautiful. I'm excited, very excited. I need to start this like now because I think it's gonna look so pretty. I love this one. Love that. And this one, gorgeous. I love the flowers, the nature kind of feel of it, and I can't even, they're just too good. Too good. Some that are going to be a little bit with the lighter color, but we will see. Like I said, I don't know if it calls for all of them or not. I guess it probably depends too. Anyway, I will get to work on it and let you guys know. Maybe read an instruction. And then I got, this will be the backer binding. And I got this for the background. So I love this. I think it's really pretty. I think it'll look good all together. So generally, I have never really gone and like bought the full thing. As soon as I saw that layer cake layer. Cake layer. Layer cake. I was like, I need to get that. And then I went and found some other fabrics that I thought might work with it. And then in the process, I also found this layer cake and fell in love with this. It's very much, so this is Moda Sunshine and Blue Skies. And okay, the name of it, maybe I'll try leaving the band on and then I can, that might work better. Okay, so the name Sunshine, I fell in love with it, and then I saw the Sunshine and Blue Skies after, and I was like, okay, that is perfect, because I feel like the prairies here in Saskatchewan, it's like the colors of Saskatchewan are yellow, green, and blue. The blue skies, like it's kind of like the layer of the prairies with the canola fields and the green grass hay fields, all the different farm fields. This just reminded me of Saskatchewan, the prairies, and then the beauty of it with the watercolor. It's like very watercolor imagery, and I just fell in love with it, and I thought this was absolutely beautiful. And so I'm thinking I want to do a bird one in this as well, for my mother, because she loves, I've been saying I'm gonna make her a quilt, and I just think that these colors, especially if I tell her it's sunshine, she loves sunshine and blue skies, and my Gramps, her dad, was born in blue sky. So I thought, as soon as I saw the name, I was like, okay, that's too cool. She'll love it. And especially when I tell her the extra little, you know, like the name and stuff. But look at how pretty these colors are. She also loves birds too. So I just thought this would be really beautiful in that same pattern. So hopefully it's an easy one I like, because I know I'll like, look how pretty that is. I know I'll like the end result of it. I love a stripe too. Put a stripe and polka dot in it, and I'm probably gonna want it. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that that had polka dots in it. My worry is that with this one, I'm not going to want to give it to her because I'm going to love it so much myself. So I know she's going to love that one. I have bought a couple different fabric collections with like, I'm going to make you a quilt of this or that or that. And she has one that's picked out, and I'm still going to, oh my gosh. Just saw my... Looks like I just spent the day at the quilt shop. I always wear black to, well, I wear a lot of black, but I always wear black to the quilt shop, and I come out looking like this. But anyways, she did pick out another fabric too that collection she really likes. So I'll probably still do a throw blanket for her in that, but I'm thinking of doing a larger quilt in this one. So that is my haul for fabrics and stuff that I didn't share with you guys last time. I got everything else in there, I think. The little bits. Was there anything else that I was gonna... Nope, I think that is it. That wasn't too bad, was it? That's all. Okay. Thank you for stopping in and spending time with me. If you got questions, let me know. Again, I appreciate all of you and all the likes, comments, shares, all the things. Subscribe if you're not subscribing already, if you're enjoying what I have here for you guys. And yes, I will get that video edited of me finishing that little woodland Critters tree, which is, I love it. I love it so much. I just, I love when you can do something a little different. So this was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you are gonna do yours like this too, please share. I can't wait to see. Till next time, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time of the day. Okay, guys, I need to go. I hope you guys all are doing well. You take care of yourselves and find some time for stitching. Until next time, happy stitching and take care. I don't even know what I was going to say there. That just went like whoosh, boop. So I think it actually came up. This is actually, okay.